Is it like a speed run? No, it's a slow run. It's a slow run. Okay. All right, folks. Welcome back. It is day 75. Keeping the streak alive as per usual. Once again, MAKU desu. Konnichiwa. Yokoso. Tomorrow is the big day. The review day for the third set of 25 days. However, before we do that, we get to wrap up Unit 18, which actually ends Section 2 of the 2024 Japanese course on Duolingo. And as per usual, we're going to start our session off with our total recall session. So let's see if Neverwinter didn't drain all of my mental energy away and all our English talk. So let's see. Communication at a hotel. Alright. As per usual, this is the part where I try to use my total recall, just whatever I have stored in my long-term memory on all the new elements that was introduced the previous day. And I'll be saying, outputting the Japanese and trying to imagine the kana as much as I can while writing, taking catalog of it in English. So let's start off. So hotel. So check queen. Check queen. Check queen. Which is related to when we get in, check queen. And might as well throw check cuauto. Check cuauto. Netto. The reason why netto comes up is even before we go to the place, we need to look for it, right? So we're introduced to sagashimasu. Good look. I'm gonna say tomati? It's like tomati shimasu. Tomati shimasu. And then we have spa. Things in the hotel, right? Spa. Kori. Kori. Positional stuff. Like, Ushiro. Tonari. Oh wait, that's tonari. Or is it? No, that's not. That's this is Ushiro. No, actually, tonari might be behind. Mae is front. Dang it. I told myself I would remember this one. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. We're gonna put this as an asterisk. Near, not near, next to. Like, beside. I know we were given the word, but I will see it and hear it. I'll know when I see it and hear it, but at the moment, it's not in my total recall. What else we got? Coffee maker? Really, coffee is not new, but coffee maker. Room service. Room service. We were given this word, but I don't remember either. Free? As in, like, not costing anything. Sangai. Sangai. Right. Sangai. And Yonkai. Right. Plus that. Right. For the elevator, or the floors in which the heya, right? Heya ni. Speaking of rooms, we have kagi. And the idea of heya bango, although it's actually this, it's actually the combination of two words we already know. 75 days. 75 days. Sorry, I'm like reading in English now. Omedetou. Thanks. Arigatou gozaimasu. There's definitely more here. Oh, Pasuado. Because I was thinking netto, but Wi-Fi no Pasuado. What else in a hotel? Fill in a hotel. We got the yoyakushimasu. Again, yoyakushimasu for reserve. Lots of onegaishimasu. Lots of onegaishimasu as a thing to request, as a kindly or business-like request. And then arigatou gozaimasu is a common phrase associated with hotel communication, right? Be proper. Uh, taoru. Taoru. Was there any food? I doubt there was any food, right? None of that. Gym, like Jimu, Jihonki. Lots of repeating, lots of things you would find in a hotel, but these are review, so we're focusing on the new stuff. So how many Duolingo lessons did you do per stream? In terms of lessons, let's just say like actual lessons. So each one of these little pips are considered a cluster of 6 lessons as of section 2. So I do 11 lessons a stream. And on a half stream, I do 6. And then in between there's 15 minutes or 30 minutes of kanji practice. Of whatever kanji is up to the point in the practice section. In the characters section. I start with total recall in the beginning, so the first 30 minutes is going to be total recall. And then half the time, it's usually like a average of 6-hour session, and half the time we're talking about some stuff. Like discussing about Japanese or English or something to enrich the process. Let's see. What is this? 3, 6, 7, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's above average. I think yesterday was a bit more than usual. It was like 25 elements. But if we can get to 90%, it's pretty reasonable based on our first pass. And we didn't get through the review yesterday. We got sidetracked quite a little bit too much. I feel like there might be 2 or 3 more things in somewhere. This is pretty good though. We'll stop here for the total recall. Oh wait, there is a little bit more. Futsuka, like futsuka, ga, right? And mika. That's over 20, so we're definitely hitting the 90%. So this is pretty good. Okay. So let's hop right in. Let's look at the practice section to see if there's anything right off the bat. Toasto. Toasto. I even said it during the Neverwinter session. So toasto. Oh, I forgot to say gyunyu. Oh no. I'm sorry, Indy. I failed, Indy. I forgot to say gyunyu. Dang it. How could I forget gyunyu? Mae was fine, front. And then that was it. Yeah, I forgot gyunyu. How could I forget gyunyu? Toasto. Probably that will happen. That's cool. I'm on a 223. Oh, hey, you use Duolingo for French. But I feel like I've been learning more from other sources than Duolingo, as you should. Haven't used a singular tool for 223 days straight. I would imagine that you are extracting a lot more learning things from other sources, for sure. I do use other sources to enrich Duolingo. And usually I bring them to Duolingo. So the things that I do not extract from Duolingo, I bring into Duolingo. And then the things that Duolingo have, I bring them out to my other sources. So my other forms of enrichment, learning, practice, input, and output are enriched by Duolingo. And then all the things that I do outside, I bring to Duolingo. Talk about it. Like before I came on today, I read three grade readers before I came on today, just to get me in the mood and whatnot. And I looked up 2 or 3 verbs that I was curious about the conjugation from the grade readers. Hello there, Harlow. All right. So, let's get to reviewing and see if I forgot any other words. I have to pay hyper attention to next or nearby, like next to, and what were the 2? Next to, and it'll come up. It'll make sense when I hear it. Total recall is the thing. Okay. Wait, why is this so loud? Did I not turn down the volume? Oh, I didn't turn down the volume. That would explain a lot. 4階, which is 4th floor.
4階
Sure. So, 4階.
4階
このホテルのスパは素敵ですね。
Nope, nothing new.
このホテルのスパは素敵ですね。
Yep. This hotel spa is lovely, isn't it? このホテルのスパは素敵ですね。Okay. 4階.
4階
3日.
3日
3日.
何年生
2日が
2日
3階.
3階
3階. Of course, they would go with the nasally thing. 3階.
エレベーターはロビーの後ろです。
Nothing new.
エレベーターのロビーは
Wait.
エレベーターはロビーの後ろです。ロビー後ろです。
Yeah, ushiro, that's ushiro behind. The elevator is behind the lobby. Hiking.
ハイキング
タオル。
タオル
バックパック。バーベキュー。牛肉。
Wi-Fi は無料です。Wi-Fi は
無料です。
無料
無料
です。
That's free. 無料。無料, I forgot. So it was free, so we picked up that one, 無料. And then near or next to, like beside, is the other one that I couldn't totally recall. So Wi-Fi は無料です。エレベーターは後ろ。Oh, wait, not 後ろ。エレベーターはロビーの後ろです。
エレベータ
エレベーターは
ー
ロビ
ロビー
ーの
の後
後
ろ
ろ
で。
ですす。このタオルは綺麗です。I mean, clean or pretty, that's fine. Not salty or 快速。快速? I'm gonna pretend I know what that is. it'll come to me. スパはいいですね。
スパはいいですね。
4回を行きましょう ?No. で会いましょう ?Sure. 4回で会いましょう。We should meet on the fourth floor? コーヒーは、無料。いや、コーヒーは無料です。
コーヒーは無料です。
無料。コーヒーは無料です。ロビーの後ろで待ちましょうか
の
Sure.
で
Wait behind the lobby. We should wait. Should we wait behind the lobby?
大きいプールは4階です。
大きいプールは4階です。The big pool is on the fourth floor.
コーヒーは無料です。
コーヒーは無料です。The coffee is free. Okay. このホテルのスパは素敵ですね。
このホテルのスパは
Where is it? どこですか？
素敵ですね。
カフェは4階です。Yeah, that works.
カフェは4階です。
Alright. Up and away, Adam.
晩ご飯は6時から10時半までです。
Oh, I totally forgot about this expression. We know range now. We also know range using kata and made.
晩ご飯は
I forgot the range.
晩ご飯は6時から10時半までです。
Okay.
6時半から10時までです。晩ご飯は6時から10時半までです。
Oh, 10時半。Okay. 晩ご飯は6時から、晩ご飯は6時から10時半までです。Okay. トースト。
トースト
鍵
会計。
会計
チェックイン。
チェックイン
牛乳。
朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。
Range. Breakfast. 朝ごはんは7時。
7時。
7時。Whoops. 7時から7 a.m. sounds pretty reasonable. から10時
までです。
probably.
朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。
Yeah, 朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。Fair enough. From 7 to 10. 辛い。
辛い。
全部で。
全部で。
I said day. 全部で。
メニュー。
トースト。ハイキング。チェックアウトをお願いします。
チェックアウトをお願いします。Oh, wait, actually. チェックアウトをお願いします。
チェックアウトを
お願いします。
お願いします。
牛乳はありますか？ 牛乳はありますか？
牛乳
I mean 牛乳。I said 牛乳。牛乳はありますか？
ありますか？
チェックアウト
Just check out.
チェックアウト
ジュース、oh, here it is. 隣。ジュースはコーヒーメーカーの隣です。
カレ
Oops.
ー、ジュースはコーヒーメーカーの
コーヒーメーカーの
隣
隣です。
です。
お茶はあまり飲みません。コーヒーが欲しいです。コーヒーメーカーはどこですか？
Okay, they want to drink coffee. Definitely. お茶はあまり、お茶はあまり飲みません。コーヒーが欲しいです。コーヒーメーカーはどこですか？ They don't really drink tea. They want coffee. Where's the coffee maker? Right.
トースト
トーストとコーヒー。
とコーヒー。
checked out は whoa. Okay, 12時までです。Okay. Whoa. I haven't seen 12 written like that. That is a shocker. Instead of 12. check out.
チェックアウト。
Okay. このトーストは美味しいですね。Fair enough.
朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。
朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。9時。Oops, 9時までです。The breakfast is from 6時to 9時までです。Oh, I totally forgot 9 o'clock. Sure. 牛乳は飲みません? Oh, 飲みません. Okay, sure. I don't drink milk. Fair enough. I can relate. A little gassy, a little bubbly. 紅茶はコーヒーメーカーの隣です。
紅茶はコーヒーメーカー
コーヒーメーカーの隣です。They really like coffee maker. パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
後ろです。Alright. I can't review, it's a super feature. Okay. Oh, how did I screw this up yesterday? チェックインは何時からですか? How did I screw this up? Oh, I might have forgot actually. It's probably because I forgot
チェックイン
は
何時
からですか?
クレジットカードをお願いします。
Oh, I forgot. クレジットカード クレジット、クレジットカード。クレジットカードをお願いします。Yeah, sure. Credit card, please. Okay. Your credit card, please. Sure. You can say that. Oh. I did card credit again. I did this yesterday where I slid. Oh my gosh. English is too hard. It's time to abandon English. 部屋の番号は number? 366です。Okay. 366です。Sure.
チェックインは午後3時からです。
チェックインは午後3時からです。Okay. Check-in is from 3 p.m. Sure. Month. 5月。5月3日にホテルに泊まりませんか Okay, it's 泊まり Oh, it's not. It's not suru. It's just 泊まりませんか Okay. So I did mess that one up. But the root word is 泊まり still. So 泊まりませんか Okay. Stay. The phrase stay. Yeah, would you like to stay at the hotel on... I say it this way. I don't like saying May 3rd, but on the 3rd of May. On the 3rd of May.
ATM はジムの前です。
ATM はジムの前です。The ATM is in front of the gym. Okay. 牛乳は飲みません。Okay, the same. Repeat. Sure.
人気のホテルに泊まりませんか？
Cute. 人気 popular. 人気のホテル人気のホテルI meant to say に人気のホテルに泊まりませんか？泊まりませんか？人気のホテルに keep skipping. 人気のホテルに泊まりませんか？ That'll come with time. Would you like to stay at a popular hotel?
12月3日。12月3日。
Okay. Check out は11時からです。
チェックアウト。
チェックアウト。
11時。までです。
Oh, right. までです。Whoops. I'm thinking of from. From. Until. My bad. まで。パンケーキ。パンケーキ。パンケーキ。パンケーキ。パンケーキ。or パンケーキ。パンケーキと牛乳をください。
パンケーキ。
いや、パンケーキと牛乳をお願いします。
お願いします。
I think I said ください。パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
パンはコーヒーメーカ
の後ろです。
Ushiro.
クレジットカードをお願いします。
Your credit card, please. I don't want to talk about it. Card credit.
Introducing the Duolingo.
Wait. Yeah, not yet. Oh, hey, they have a new animation to remind me. Wait, do I have any? There's no new kanji for this section, so we're gonna keep moving here. Actually, yeah, let's do some review. Actually, let's do 15 minutes of review. So, 7つ 7月 7月
7月
7つ 5月 7月 or 7つ 7つ What happened to the audio? 7月 Wait, what happened to the audio? 3つ 4つ Okay.
7月
That was weird. 7月
7つ、
Okay,
夏
7月
sure. 7 5月 This one is not supposed to have audio. 7月 6つ 7つ 2回
2回
2人
2回
回
に
2人
2回2か2人2人
900
900 2
2
人
人
2
2
回
回
2
2
つ
つ
12
12
2人分2人2回中山食べ2回2回2
2
回
回5
500
月500 Ooh. I said 5月 If I don't take a really good look at it
2000
2000 2人
3000
3000 3000 3000
2人
2人 short trying to keep at pace right try to keep at pace
買い物
買い物
2人
え
2回作ります7
Okay. と
2
2人と2回水 Oh, maybe they changed this up to not have audio anymore. I don't know. 4人4人人2人 That's so weird.
人
Mizu. Oh, whoops. On. No one saw that. Nari. Mizu. 20分 Ito. Can I get a kawa? No. Oh, don't you dare ichinichi me. Tsuitachi. Oops. Oh, whoops. I clicked on the bottom. 5月
1日1日
Oh, they didn't change that, that's for sure. 2月 Yeah, all the audio is missing from all of these. Interesting. Wait. Oh, there's none on the other side either. 5月 1日、8月、来月、
1日、1日、
1日、
5
5
月、
月、
1日、1日、
1日、
日曜日、
土
土曜
曜
日、
日、来月、
5
5
月、
月、
1
1
日、
日、
5月、
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 okay. 1日、 8月、 7月、 10月、 5月、 Oh my gosh, I misspelled it.
1土曜日、1日、9月、来月、
It's still technically correct
5
in
月。
this context, actually. But still, I don't know. Let's stop misspelling here. Okay. Please. Okay. Okay. Can I get a kawa or ame? No? Okay. 1 what? 1時半。
1時、
Oh,
1日、
okay.
1時半、
Sure.
1日、
1日。
1時半、1時半、1、よう、
Oops.
よう、じ、は、1日、
Stop it. 2時半。 3時半。
土曜日、1
1
日、
日。
1
1
時半
時半。、
1日、
Stop
1
it. 1日。
駅、1日、1時半、12月、中山、1時半、1時半、2時半、1
1
日、
日。
土曜日、1時半、
1
1
回
回。1日、3時、6、古い、1時半、
Oops.
1時半、1、
Just kidding. Alright, we're not getting ame, or kawa. Try this one. Okay, we got the say.
先生、
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 先
12
Okay, 12月、12月、2年生。
2年
Hmm. Okay, sure. 50分。Yeah, they're all gone. 12月、2年生。20分。40分。
2、
2、
生、
oops.
生年、
12月、
10、
12
12月。
月、
Okay. 20分。40分。12月。2年生。15分。飲みます。あ、飲み物。Whoops. 飲み物。一年生。Sure.
一年飲み
飲
物
み物。飲み物。一年生。飲み物。Oh, if they remove these audio, that would be really unfortunate because I kind of use these audio to normalize. 一年生。魚。飲み物。食べ物。Oops. 何年生。
飲み物のみ物
That was 食べ物。一年生。
飲み物
Okay.
卵
Oh, this one has it.
何年生
That's weird.
飲み物
一
一年
年生
生。買い物一年生一年生
二年生 And it's gone again. 卵。飲み物。一年生。魚。Oops. I'm fat fingering everything. 飲み物。
のみ物
Okay.
二年生魚一年生卵飲み
Can I get an eki? 飲み物 again. 4年生。
食べ物の
Oops. 魚。3年生。買い物。飲み物。4年生。
飲み物のみも
4年生。
四飲み物
飲み物。
飲み買い物4年生食べ物
飲み物。
2
2
年生
年生。
4年生よ
4年生。
年生
4年生。飲み物。3年生。食べ物。卵。Okay.
のみも4年生食べ物3年生買い物飲み物
Introducing.
Nope, not right now. How about Hito? What do we got? Hito? Hito? Okay. We're done with Hito.
人人
人
人
人
Yep, we're done with Hito. Okay, let's try up here. Kakimasu.
書きます
書きます
Whoops.
書きます
I was adjusting my hand.
書きます
書きます書きます
書きます
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 Get more.
Yes, yes, yes. 作ります。12月。or 月曜日。
月曜12月月曜12月12月月曜日
月曜日。
来
来
月
月。
20
20
分
分。Oops.
20分
Just kidding.
日曜日。
12月。
月曜日月曜日月曜日100 9000休み12月月曜12月12月日曜日20分
月曜日。40分。12月。
月曜日月曜日月曜日何ですか10時山口12
Oh, I'm typoed. Okay. Alright, 15 minutes are over. Let's continue. Pretty quick Japanese session. Maybe we'll do some review. Yeah, we should do some review. Throw some gems to the wind, maybe? I don't know.
3日
9月2日はどうですか
9月2日はどうですか
9月2日はどうですか2日
2日
予約します。right? ネットで部屋を予約します。Yeah.
ネットで
部屋を予約します。
3日
3日人気のホテルに泊まりませんか
に
Would you like to stay at a popular hotel,
2
right? 2日 Oh, hey, Nojo. Just coming in from Twitch because YouTube chat is broken for some reason. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, the YouTube not working? Thanks. Thanks again. Thanks for the daily motivation, Joe. このホテルは綺麗ですね。
わ
このホテルに泊まり。このホテルに泊まりませんか？泊まりませんか？
に
泊まり
泊まり
ませんか？かわいいホテルを探しましょう。かわいいホテルを探しましょう。
ホテル
7、3日、2日、高い、水曜日、
7月3日は忙しいです。3日
Wait,
3日7月3日は
what?
7月3日は忙しいです。
忙しいです。
忙しいです。
I'm, what you call it? July 3rd is very busy, or is busy. I will be busy on July, yeah, sure. I will be busy on July 3rd, fair enough. 火曜日、2日、見ます。3日、10、
12月2日はちょっと。12月2日
2日
はちょっと。
December 2nd isn't very good or doesn't work well.
来週京都に行きませんか？
来週京都に行きませんか？いいですね。ネットでいいホテルを探しましょう。or no, 探しましょう。I keep doing she. 探しましょう。ネットでいいホテルを探しましょ
7月2日に旅行しませんか？
う。7月2日に旅行しませんか？ July. Oh. Would you like to 旅行しません。Would you like to travel on July 2nd? 5月3日はちょっと。
5月
5月
3日
はちょっと。7月3日は忙しいです。
7月3日は忙しいです。
Get more with Super Duolingo. Go ad-free and skip the interruptions to focus on your learning. Unlock unlimited hearts and make as many mistakes as you need. And you can target weaknesses in your practice hub with AI-powered practice sets based on your recent mistakes. So what are you waiting for? Upgrade your learning with Super Duolingo.
I'm telling you, they keep adding new animations. We're gonna be doing the 14 days after our review, probably. I think it's time. Passportお願いします。
パスお願いします。
Although, I guess I kind of want to see what section 3 is like first before we do that. パスポートをお願いします。
チェックイン
Check in.
Check in.
That's it? Alright. いいえ、いいえ、クレジ、クレジ、いいえ、クレジットカード、クレジットカードはありません。はありません。
いいえ、
いいえ、
クレジットカード
クレジットカードはありません。
パスポートをお願いします。
パスポートをお願いします。クレジットカード、クレジットカードを使います。
クレジットカード
クレジットカードを
を
使
使い
いま。
ますす。
チェックインをお願いします。
チェックインをお願いします。Sure.
チェックインを
お願いします。
お願いします。
ダニエルさん。ダニエルさん。Interesting. ダニエルさんは I think this is a dress. It's a vocative, right? ダニエルさん。部屋の番号は522ですか？
ダニエルさん、部屋の番号は522ですか？
部屋の番号は770です。
部屋の番号は770です。770です。
部屋の番号は7
Oh,
7
that's an error.
7
That's an error.
0です。部屋の番号は770です。
部屋の番号は770です。770です。お手洗い。お手洗いはジムの隣です。
の隣。
Batman! Yes, Nadia. Nadia. Okay. このホテルの鍵は古いですね。Sure.
古い。
部屋はエレベーターの隣です。
隣。
Okay. チェックインは12時20分です。
12時。
自販機はジムの隣です。
自販機はジムの隣です。What do we have? 学校が好きです。学校が好きです。Says me and not a lot of other. It's fine. ありがとうございます。Yeah. Thanks for the information.
クレジットカードはありますか？
クレジットカードはありますか？ Do you have a credit card? Not a card credit. I
部
gotta
屋の
stop doing
番
that.
号は351です。
部屋の番号は351です。Sure. The room number is 351です。部屋の鍵です。部屋の鍵です。
部屋の
の
鍵
鍵です。部屋の鍵、ここ。Wait, ここです？ Yeah, sure. 部屋の鍵はここです。That's alright, I guess.
部屋の鍵はここです。
Okay.
3階
3階。
3階
氷。氷はどこですか？
氷はここ。
ここ。
どこ。
ここ。I'll show you ここ。
でか。
自販機は3階です。
自販機は3階です。Third floor?
自販機は3階です。自販機は3階です。
自販機は3階です。ルームサービス。ルームサービスはいくらですか？
ルームサービス。
ルームサービスはいくらですか？
Wi-Fi のパスワード。
Wi-Fi のパスワード。
Wi-Fi のパスワード。
Okay. Does Duolingo teach kanji? Yes, it does. It is separated in a separate section. Whenever a kanji is introduced, it's logged in a separate section, along with all the kana. Yep. And you get to choose to do them at as much as you want. It's part of the practice. There is no new kanji in this unit, unfortunately. Yeah, they can do it as much as you want. They try to integrate writing for the kanji, and the biggest focus for the kanji section, since they slowly introduce kanji, they introduce all the kana really, really far in advance before the kanji, like the hirakana. And then in the kanji section, they focus on lots of overlapping kanji. So when kanji shows up all the time, and when the kanji keeps being used in multiple things that you'll learn. So they tend to use like multiple choice and sounds and stuff, where the kana is not the same for the same kanji. And that's kind of what they focus on. And it's the newest edition. It's the newest update. It actually happened less than a month ago now. It's a little over a month. It's a pretty nice way to learn, get you to really focus on the slight differences, like the difference between futari and, I don't know, ninense, because ni changes a lot, or the ni kanji, for example, or contrasting like getsuyobi, like the yobi, with nihon, which nihon has the same kanji in the beginning, but yobi has the kanji at the right. So they do that a lot to try to trick you. That's the best, that's my favorite part actually, where they try to trick you on all the kanji. So they introduce it very slowly, because oftentimes they stick with the tricks. So I could see it being a little overwhelmed. In section 3, apparently, it starts in section 2 where the kanji starts, and in section 3 apparently it's 2 or 3 times the volume. So we'll see. I'm ending the section 2 today, which I'm excited. Very excited. And tomorrow I'm going to have a really long review of the second half of section 2 to the best of my ability. And then we'll start section 3. And you'll probably see me hit the kanji pretty hard. I like writing kanji quite a lot. Kori. 氷はありませんか？ありますか？
氷は
ありますか？
ありますか？
パスワードは長いですね。
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 私の部屋 Sorry. 私の部屋は3階です。
部屋
行きます。
行きます。
2日。
2日。
2日。3日。3階。ルームサービスをお願いします。
お願いします。
プールの前で会いましょ
う。ので。
ワイフのパスワードは何ですか？
パスワード。
エレベーターの前で会いましょ
う。ので。
お手洗いはプールの前です。
お手洗いはプールの前です。What can you say back? すみません。プールはどこですか？ Sure. Excuse me, where?
部屋は3階です。
部屋は3階です。The room is on the 3rd floor. Moving right along. ルームサービスはいいですね。
ルームサはいいですね。
I want ice? 氷が欲しいです。Yeah.
氷が欲しいです。
Sure. That's a little strong for ice, but alright. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you're looking, Nadia, this one right here. So every time I finish a set of lessons, I go to the kanji section, and it goes really far down. And it unlocks at everything starting at section 2 and on, or last unit of section 1 and so on. And it skips 2 units. Only 2 units though so far. So the current unit I'm on doesn't have any kanji, and then the unit 12 doesn't, but then I have to unlock all the rest. There's got to be a little bit more efficient way of displaying this though, because that list is really long. I'm pretty excited, pretty stoked.
4階。
4階。
3
I don't want to talk about it. 4階。
4階。
ジムの後、スパに行きませんか？
ジムの後、oh hey. ジムの後。ジムの後。What am I doing after gym? Am I washing up? タオル？スパに行きましょう。or 行きませんか？
に行きまか。ジムの後、スパに行きませんか？
That's a pretty good one. After gym, would you like to go to the spa? That's a pretty nice phrase. ジムの後、スパに行きませんか？ Right? お手洗いにタオルがあります。
お手洗い
にタオルがあります。There is towels in the restroom. Okay, sure. There's a towel in the restroom, or there are towels in the restroom. Sure.
お茶も無料です。
お茶もsomething. お茶も
無料
です。Tea is also free. Sure. お茶も無料。Oh my gosh. 無料です。お茶も無料です。エレベーターに乗ります。そして4階に行きます。
エレベーター
So, we're gonna get on the elevator. getting on the elevator and then heading to the fourth floor.
タオルをください。
タオルをください. Towels, please.
タオルをください。
Short. 3日。
3日
2日。
2日
何年生。4回。3回。I guess. Nojo in chat earlier. That's some dedication. Yeah, Nojo is always in chat. Yeah, that's some dedication. Every single day, Lotus. Where were you every single day, huh? I'm just kidding. No pressure. Every single day. Basically, what is the equivalent every single day? Pretty much ganbatte kudasai every single day. Ganbatte kudasai. The heck is that? What does that even mean? It looks like a waffle iron. Something day. Freaking indie. Nobi no ushiro de machimashou ka? Sorry, Mainichi? Oh, sorry, Mainichi. Oh, Mainichi. I see. That's how you... Oh, okay. Mainichi. Oh, thanks. That makes up for it. Just kidding.
Smile.
You're trying to buy my... Are you trying to buy my adoration? Thanks, Lotus. I appreciate it.
ので
Nobi no ushiro de machimashou ka? Should we wait behind the lobby? I like that phrase. Should we wait behind the lobby? Or should we wait in front of the lobby? That's such a natural phrase. Insert place machimashou ka? ATM は自販機の後ろですか？
ATM は自販機の後ろでか。
すみません。お手洗いはどこですか？
すみません。お手洗い。インディ。すみません。お手洗いはどこですか？お手洗いはジムの後ろです。Yeah. The restrooms are behind the gym. It's behind the gym. Sure. コーヒーは無料。無料です。I keep trying to say 無料です。コーヒーは無料です。
コーヒーは無料です。
すみません。スパはどこですか？
すみません。スパはどこですか？どこですか？すみません。スパはどこですか？スパはプールを前です。In front. The spa is in front of the pool. You really consolidated Indy to be in the bathroom. Yes. Shoving, gotta shove it. Yeah, they haven't given me the kanji yet. Not yet. Don't worry. Wait, was Indy here? Gyunyu is in this unit, so Gyunyu is all over the place. Yesterday, Indy totally missed when I first saw Gyunyu. With the milk carton, with the cow on it, of all things, right? Gyunyu. Un and not and absent. Charge or cost. Oh, that's okay. So uncost, no charge, absent of charge or cost. I see. Murio. Wow, that's... Oh, I recognize some parts of the kanji. Wow, the left side, the not absent, reminds me of a bigger version of sakana. Like a more complex, like fanned out grid version of sakana. There's also yurio or yurio. Oh, there exists cost. Oh yeah, okay, so there is charge. Okay, yurio. I see. Cute, very cute. すみません。タオルはどこですか？
すみません。タオルはどこですか？
One thing I feel very great now, but it's not great for comprehension, that I feel for sentence construction, is that I can ask very, very simple things very rapidly. Like what I mean is all the questions I like to ask, I can ask simple questions incredibly rapidly now in Japanese, and that's my favorite part so far. Of all the 75 days of practice, the one thing that I enjoy the most now is I can ask simple questions incredibly rapidly. And things like that I usually do when like a stranger comes in and say like, hi, how are you? Like, or like say hi and like, oh, how are you? How are you doing? What kind of language do you learn? What are you currently studying? How many languages do you use? What kind of language you speak at home or something like that? I could rapidly say those things a lot better now, as opposed to the downside is it's definitely slow going on the comprehensive side. It's kind of like I'm having the opposite thing. I'm more inclined to construct sentences so then I don't have to comprehend them. As in, like, it's a lot easier to lead with questions and lead at the expectation of what the responses are. So I'm relying a lot on my intuitions again. Much like how I ask questions to a stranger in English. When I ask questions, I have like 15 or 16 possibilities that will come back, and that makes me prepared for it. So I immediately am already ahead of the game. But whenever something is provided to me, it's a struggle. It's still quite a struggle. We're like, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't phrase it that way. Like, okay, so yeah, that's a way to interpret that kind of thing. So it's been doing that a lot. Meanwhile, I do feel a lot of people who spend a lot of time input, right? Input where they spend so much time reading and listening and following rules and stuff. I imagine their reading comprehension and stuff, it's a lot easier to be fed, like to be given content to consume. But I am far more comfortable and rewarded when I'm creating the phrases and stuff, even if it's not like accurate, right? The idea is you'll become accurate over time. You might say things like, oh yeah, I left a particle, whoops, I omitted a particle here, I omitted the particle here. But it's so much more comfortable to saying like Nihongo o benkyou shimasu, as opposed to so can I put an O there, or is that a wa? Like I don't really concern myself with that anymore. So whenever I'm saying phrases and stuff and talking to people or talking to myself most of the time, I can speak with a bit more confidence. I can retrieve things and stitch them together and use broken Japanese. And that's how I feel that it's the most rewarding part of all this output that I'm doing now. My output is exceptionally faster than I've ever been. So every time I take in new vocabulary, on the third day, with the exception of this, on the third day, it's so much more rapid. Like, because it's adjusting to the new vocabulary. So as long as I get a few output practice on the vocabulary, then I can put it into my standard structure. Like, doko desu ka? Right? Itsu, nani desu ka? Or like, just put in things with do, nani, put an object in, and then put a predicate, and I can just simply add that. Or I can do no chains everywhere, because no chains is pretty much where it is. Like, oh yeah, well, know this, know that, know that, know that, and doko desu ka? It's like, okay, hoteru no lobby no ushiro wa doko desu ka? You know what I mean? Like, you can just know everything for the time being, because you're modifying on top of each other. So I'm doing the same thing I would do in English, where I add a bunch of modifiers on top if I don't know how to express it. So like, the in front of the side of the room over there at that corner, what is that? Nan desu ka? Right? So even if it's broken English, like it's not one complete sentence, I could say something like sumi no asoko, like sumi no hoteru wa asoko nan desu ka? Right? So you can kind of flip around things and see if it fits or it does well, and then you can like stutter and improvise and say, oh no, the other way around. So that stuff is far more comfortable. I can draw vocabulary right to my brain. Like, even if it's not complete or the structure is not complete, the vocabulary is coming right to me. I can express objects just by pointing. Like hoteru, you know, biru, right? Kawa, I don't know, pasokon, you know, pasokon, lots of things. And I can be confident that when I go somewhere, I can use my body and my sign language, like not sign language, but my body language to help with interpreting what it is. And I do that a lot with my parents. That's very nice, and you keep getting better too. I personally am trying to improve my Japanese reading. I feel like I'm still quite slow. I think my Japanese reading is quite slow too, Nadia. Relatively speaking, I think my reading is much slower than my speaking, my output in my speaking, and also listening is so much faster to me as well. If I was comparing, if I had to read a prompt, it takes me a lot of time than just listening to it, say, oh yeah, okay, move right along, move right along. So I need to I'm trying not to skip over reading, like really looking at these words, I've been doing all right. I'm glad to hear that you're finding ways to improve and getting better. Yeah, Nadia. How far are you, by the way, in your Japanese, Nadia? What are you currently doing for enrichment, like the different ways and stuff to keep yourself improving your Japanese? Yeah, like the thing I was describing about pointing to things is using body language. Like, for example, sometimes my parents would say something, I'm like, how do I say? And I'm like, okay, orange, round, you know, maybe nagai, yasai, no yasai, or like yasai wa nagai, or like don orange kind of thing. So what happens is that since I have so much vocabulary now, it's very comfortable to be able to say something in Japanese, even if I can't complete the sentence, right? So that's kind of where I am, and it feels great. Like, I don't know if I can share. I don't know if this resonates with a lot of people. I think, in my opinion, it might be specific to Japanese a lot of times, but being overly concerned about being correct, like juggling too many things, is like reaching that completion of sentence structure, to me, is an incredibly unnatural way of going about developing speaking. So for me, I like making I don't mind making mistakes. So I'm gonna try to read faster. I'm going to make mistakes. But the thing is, over time, you can point out so many things, and I would just fill in the gaps with anything else I have. And I actually even go as far as disagreeing with a lot of people who say, stop thinking in English or stop thinking in your native tongue. I would fill those gaps in with my native language to combine it with my target language, because if you don't do it at all, you aren't doing it. So instead of worrying about never speaking and constructing, because you're constantly like, oh, you forgot one thing, so now you're going to spend all your time trying to construct. It has a trade-off. It's a double-edged sword, where if you're all or none, yeah, certainly you're going to get more efficient, but you won't get efficient if you don't execute or output at all, in my opinion. And that's contentious, because most people believe that your output will come naturally if you do 100% input at first, and that output has a minimum effect on the input. I can say I agree if it's about the knowledge of your target language. I disagree that the output doesn't affect the person's aptitude. As in, yes, if you need to use your native language to combine with your target language to output, it will that output will not necessarily improve your input of your target language, but it will remove psychological barriers to enable you to do it more frequently. So when you increase the focus, the frequency of your use, it becomes psychologically beneficial in that way, not in the semantics of the knowledge. So the reason why I want to be specific about that is so many people in secondary language acquisition would say output has no predication on the acquisition of a secondary language. That's if you view the human being entirely as the scope of the the target language, but the other person also has motivations and insecurities that must be conditioned to normalize it in order to output something. Just a little thing, right? You're focusing mainly on learning vocabulary now. I know basic sentences and grammar, but I'm still pretty beginner level. Keep on at it, Nadia. I hope we can, in the future, Nadia, I hope we can go back and forth with like basic phrases and stuff together. I think that'd be a really wonderful extra way to find engagement. You'll probably find me playing video games and stuff, and we can all like group together and translate things together. That would be so much fun in the future. I think in yeah, you'll speak faster, then you get used to saying the words. That's how it works with your mother tongue. Yeah, I think in general input output are different skills. They are different skills. You learn via input, but you have to practice output. The more you learn by the time you start practicing output, the easier the practice is. That is what I'm saying. And I'm usually saying both. So you can actually practice output to lower the inhibitions of your inputs. sometimes output can create observations about the input. So what I mean by that is, if you constantly notice that if you're saying to yourself like "doko desu ka," it becomes input. And what I mean by that is, oh, you've noticed that after saying it, you come to the observation that there are two things that are stacked next to each other. You can retroactively discover new input from practicing output. With that said, I still agree that the majority of the learning and the acquisition comes from input. The goal, you have to ask yourself what your goal is, right? A lot of times I prefer to be able to have some semblance of output in order to get more input in the future. So not only do I not try to lean on comprehensive input to be ready for output, I encourage myself to use output as soon as I reach a critical mass of output in order to generate new input. So the engagement of the output will constantly generate new input, not in the sense of like semantics. It's kind of like when someone asks me what's my goal for Japanese. My goal is to get to the point where I can use Japanese to learn Japanese. That's using my output to generate new input, right? So there's this like really strong arm thing of saying that there's a diminished return and like a poo-poo secondary downplay of the significance of output. And oftentimes, to me, that's coming from someone who has no insecurities, who's very confident, who's incredibly competent in like successful and consistently successful in their field. To me, think about a skill like communication. Communication, oftentimes the most undeveloped part is the vocal communication. And you get lots of incredibly brilliant people, like kids and young adults, who are incredibly inarticulate. And what I mean by inarticulate is they're apprehensive to the point where they believe that incredibly focusing on input will allow and prepare them for anything that output is required of them. But generally speaking, you cannot observe your own output difficulties and problem solve through your output difficulties and then find out what you need for general input to help that output. Like for example, pitch accent would be an excellent example. Certainly, you can keep saying like, I know what it is in my head. I know what it is in my head. However, your interest of pitch accent and your focuses of pitch accent can be affected by your general output. As in, you'll find that, yeah, you know what? I do keep dropping this. However, in your head, you might have a perception of how you do it and how you sound. Without the output, sometimes you don't even know you have problems where there is problems, and where your focus can be where there isn't focus, right? And you're focusing on things that may not become an issue. So a lot of times I'd say it's a balance of input and output. Although, with that said, I think the vast majority of people who end up choosing language learning feels incredibly bolstered by their confidence in generalized input. If you know what to do that is correct, you somehow feel secure and confident in executing it. For me, neither. If I'm incompetent, I'm still going to try to engage in output. I remove that insecurity. Sometimes, on occasion, you gotta ride when you don't know how to ride. Safely, of course. And language might be one of them, in my opinion. And for me, my most rewarding aspect right now is being able to not even think about saying teberu, right? Or taberu. Yeah, taberu. right? Mizu. So things like that. And I'll continue to say them, whether they're wrong or right or comprehensive or whatnot. Being able to output progressively and observing your output change over time is incredibly psychologically reinforcing. It might actually increase the efficiency of your general input. So I highly encourage people to actualize their progress. It's LHL, not HLL for what? Jim, like, yeah, what are you referring to? Which word? Taberu? Oh, not H. That's fine. Taberu. Sure. Taberu. 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 Yeah. Sure. Awesome. I'm not here to give pitch accent things, but good. That's great. Taberu. Nice. Instead of taberu. Got it. That illustrates my point, but thanks. You actually illustrated my point. Hey.
スパはいいですね。
Spa wa ii desu ne. The spa is nice, isn't it?
ルームサービスは無料ですか？
Room service wa murio desu ka? Is room service free or is the room service free? Room service wa murio desu ka?
カフェは4階です。
カフェは4階です。The cafe is on the 4th floor.
4階。
4階。
3階。
Oops.
4
I
階。
clicked on Sangai again. Yeah, Jiao. That's taberu. Got it.
チェックアウトをお願いします。
チェックアウトをお願いします。
チェックアウトを
チェックアウトをお願いします。
踊りませんか？踊りませんか？お願いします。
踊りませんか？Dance? Fair enough. このトースト、このトーストは美味しいです。
このトーストは美味しいです。
美味しい牛乳。
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 牛乳。花さん、トーストはどうですか？
花
They fave you the kanji for kai? Yeah. They're really just doing their own thing out here. Wait. Wait. They gave me. Oh yeah, they gave me the kanji for kai. Yeah, they gave me the kanji for kai. In one unit alone. Yeah.
3
It's willy-nilly, man. It's willy-nilly, I tell ya. Well, it keeps you on your toes. What is the next kanji? No one will ever know. Hana-san, toasto wa dou desu ka?
トースト
トースト。トーストはどうですか？
どうですか？
牛乳も飲みます。
牛乳も飲みます。I was so used to
牛乳
someone
も
say
飲みます。
the phrase not drinking milk. It took me back a little bit. 牛乳も飲みます。
牛乳も飲みます。
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
コーヒーメーカーパン
は
は
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
コーヒーメーカーの後ろ
です。
ジュースはコーヒーメーカーの隣です。
What? ジュースはコーヒーメーカーの隣です。隣。
ジュースはコーヒーメーカーの隣です。
牛乳も飲みます。
牛乳も飲みます。
What do you have against the kanji kai, Lotus? Although I do have to admit, they could give me so many different kanji, but kai would be a very particular one, huh? Yeah. What would be one that I would like? Probably like arimasu. Aru and iru. Probably aru and iru. I was kind of thinking they would go through the predicates first, if you know what I mean. Japanese school children, no. Oh wait, you showed me that earlier. Mainichi? No, that's not Mainichi. The free? Oh, no, or lack of, I see. Oh, they have kanji, but they are most hiragana. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, they don't? Oh, interesting. So aru and iru don't? Oh, cool. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Or what I mean is they typically don't use it. Yeah. They typically don't use it. Oh, that's good to know. Then another word, what else would I say? What else comes up really, really often that I don't have the kanji for? What's a super common one? Do I have watashi? I do. I do have watashi. Do I know ski? No, I don't. Yeah, we don't have ski, but they don't use that really often, actually. They don't use like daisuki or any form of ski very, very often. It's like 20% of the time. They do. They kinda seldomly do. Yeah, sometimes. The ones that they use, they already gave kanjis for. Like, oh, you know, oishi. Oishi doesn't have it yet. Usually they stick with oki, oki and chisai. No, I'm not saying if... No, I'm not saying I'm not saying if Japanese have it or not. I'm saying Duo's frequency of use in their unit. So we're saying what kanji comes up, what hiragana comes up a lot in Duolingo's exercises. But they're not using the high frequency and replacing the high frequency hiragana in Duolingo, not in Japanese speech. Just to clarify. Is oishi? I say 50-50 on kanji and hiragana. Oh. Huh. Okay. What else can I say that comes up a lot? Do they not have furugana? No, I remove. You can choose. You can choose. I don't use anything. I don't use furagana. I don't use furigana or romaji. You can turn it on if you want. But the way Duolingo teaches kanji, you will know the furigana well before the kanji. So you don't ever really need them. You'll know the kana pretty well before kanji gets replaced. Like before it gets replaced by kanji. You can't turn them on though. It's up here. So like if I turn them on. Oh. I think you have to go to the next unit first. So like
カフェ晩ご飯は6時から10時までです。
never mind. They don't. I think you might have to get out and start a new lesson with it on, but it doesn't really matter. Warui? What does warui mean? Oh, bad? No. I still don't have the word for bad. Yeah, not good. Oh, I get it. Yeah, no. Lotus, you're overestimating. You're overestimating. It means so other things. Yeah, I imagine. Imagine explaining to a Japanese person what the word bad means in English. I'll let people stoop on how to define the word bad in colloquial speak to a Japanese person learning English. In terms of like emotional things, like subjective emotional phrasing, I think it's pretty universal that it's to be expected that those types of words have too many meanings or like incredible nuances, especially emotional ones, like subjective emotional emotionally favored words tend to be incredibly dynamic. But imagine learning the kanji for story of a building before learning the kanji for bad. Oh, story of a building. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, true. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, it's true. Now here's the thing, right? Let's do a little deep cut, Lotus. So far, I actually get very surprised when Duo introduces a phrase that would indicate something undesirable or negative. And you might be thinking like, well, maybe Duolingo has an agenda, but if we think about it in public, right, the phrases you want to use, do you prioritize saying something in Japanese that may consider not so great versus prioritizing things that are great, maybe okay or fine, and then move right along? If you think of, I'm just positing some rhetoric here, like proposing some rhetoric. Like if you think about it, right? I actually don't use the word bad very often in English, actually. Like even in English, when someone says the word bad is the most frequent time I say the word bad. Or worse. Sometimes I say not good. Not good, but that is learning the word good and negating good, as opposed to saying the word bad, right? And so I've learned a lot more of negative speech from native content. Yeah. And people, what do we in the United States, right? The double negative, the negation of bad happens a lot, right? Maku-san, bye. Oh, hey, take care, Nadia. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out for a while. Good luck with your Japanese. I will talk to you later. That ain't so bad. Yeah, exactly. That ain't so bad. Triple negative, double negative, or like that's not so bad. That's so good, Lotus. That's so good. Well, you're not lying. English. Like very Americanized English, actually. You're not lying. Well, I'm not lying. Like, or like, you're not lying. It's like, so you're telling the truth. Like, well, no, it's not the same as telling the truth, but you're not lying. You're not lying. You're not wrong. You know, that's so common in American speech. Like, well, you're not wrong. I'm like, well, does that mean the person's right? Or are you saying you don't want to admit that that person is right? You're just saying they're not wrong. Like, it's the opposite feeling. And I think Japanese, in my opinion, humbly, in my opinion, Japanese exudes the other type of feeling. Like, they want to accept and respect and trust you at the expense of potentially looking rude and being looked upon as aggressive or inferring, right? So, however, in English, most of the sentiments deal with negating from the affirmative. And I talked about this a little bit. This is just slight tangent. No worries. The idea that if you want to present yourself as someone who's a little bit more charismatic, positive, affirmative, and like maybe a little bit confident, but at the same time a bit reassuring without necessarily going too hard on things. Sometimes when you say, well, you're doing pretty well, versus you're not so bad. That's not so bad. Oh, it could have been worse. Well, I did better than I thought. As opposed to, well, that went according to plan. Slightly disappointed. However, kind of thing. So like, instead of constantly phrasing it in a manner that it's below negative versus above, like towards positive. So when someone says, yeah, I'm really excited. Oh, hey, that's very interesting. It's not quite for me, but I can see how you're enthusiastic. Versus, I don't care for that. Maybe it would convince me, but it's not interesting. We kind of talked about it earlier when I was playing Neverwinter, but I often find that people can come off as incredibly direct when using English a lot. And I love the Japanese language of the mannerism. But also having the word bad, it might be very hard to. What was the word bad? Warui. Okay. I have a feeling I won't be using warui much in speech as well, but we'll see. Right. And now I'm talking a little bit negative here. So, anyways. Arigatou gozaimasu. There you go. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay. Anyways. Moving right along. Toastを食べます。トーストを食べます。
食べます。
トースト。
トースト？
トーストを食べます。
チェックアウトは8時から12時までです。
チェックアウトは8時から12時までです。ありがとうございます。
パンケーキと牛乳をお願いします。
パンケーキと牛乳のお願いします。that's request. パンケーキと牛乳をお願いします。Pancakes and milk, please. That sounds lovely, actually.
昼ご飯は11時半から2時までです。
昼ご飯は10時半から2時までです。までです。2時までです。昼ご飯は10時半から2時までです。Just think and go along with it.
朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。
朝ごはんは6から6時。6時から9時までです。
朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。
9時までです。朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。The breakfast is from 6時9時までです。6時から whoops. Oh, did I say? Oh yeah, kara. Sure.トーストとサラダを食べます。トーストとサラダを食べます。
トースト
とサラダを食べます。
タオルを食べます。
Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. I'm like, what? That's what happens when you don't read.
チェックアウト。
チェックアウトをお願いします。
お願いします。
That's what happens when you don't read your prompts.
トーストとサラダを食べます。
Okay.
Introducing the Duolingo.
Yes. I know. 2 weeks next time. Don't worry about it. Okay.
4回。
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 Yes. Rub it in, why don't you?
トースト
トーストとサラダを食べます。
サラダを食べます。
じゃあ安い部屋を探しましょう。
じゃあ休み部屋を探しましょう。探しましょう。
じゃあ安い部屋を探しましょう。
探しましょう。安い部屋を探しましょう。探しましょう。
じゃあ安い部屋を探しましょう。
探しましょう。Okay. Okay then. I will look for a cheap room. No. We should look for a cheap room. Sure.
チェックアウトは8時から12時までです。
チェックアウトは8時から12時までです。Thank and go.
朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。
On another note, now that you know, 探します。You're dangerously close to understanding the lyrics for the One Piece opening song. Wait, which one? Are you guys telling, like, this is the third time someone brought up One Piece. Are you telling me that I should be watching One Piece? I'm gonna tell you now. I've watched the first 2 seasons of One Piece, the anime series, and I watched the Netflix live action recently. Alright, fine. I'll go watch One Piece after I finish the first season of Rent a Girlfriend for Indie-san. So I can talk to him about how he's a pep and he likes pandering anime. All right, I'll make time. Jeez Louise, you guys in One Piece. Just listen to the song. All right, is it the first opening? It's called We Are. Wait. Are you saying that the opening song is We Are, or are you just pepping me right now? But what is which opening song? You can't just be so non-specific.朝ごはんは6時から9時までです。Is that supposed to be a wa? Because I keep seeing people use wa instead of oo. So that's a we okay. Yeah. This thing, someone already explained to me a couple times that in order to get this diphthong, they use, in order to get this diphthong, they would use this as the W-ish, even though this is ooh as well. So now I've gotten used to seeing it a couple times from you guys when it ends up being a we instead of a we. We. And I get it because it kind of sounds like we and we and we are pretty close, if you know what I mean. I don't know if you say it, you can hear yourself saying it, like we versus we. We are. Okay, we are. Oh, we are. We are. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, we are. I'll keep it in mind. That's a fun name. That's a fun name for a song. We are. Or we are. Actually, do you say we are in English? I'm actually kind of curious because we already talked about this today. Well, Indy and I talked about this. How katakana is getting coincidentally suspiciously close to like the neo American English, in a way where they like drop the consonants, like consonant sounds at the end of their words. So like saying we are, like we are one. We are one. You see what I mean? We are one. Instead of we are one. I would say we are one. We are one. Or we're one. That's kind of a little bit weirder, but we are one. We are one. We are one in the same. We are one in the same. Instead of we are one in the same. That's a funny thing. We are. I think Japanese is onto something. I'm just saying. Is it? You start wondering, is it Japanese that is influencing American English or the other way around? You know? You start wondering that. Like, is it a coffee maker or is it a coffee maker? Like coffee maker. Because you could get away with saying that's a coffee maker. That's a coffee maker. I mean, some people might be on board with that. Maker instead of a maker. Gonna, woulda, shoulda, coulda, donna, gonna, kinda. Sorry. All right, I'm done. I'm done digressing. We're good. The asagohan. The asagohan. You were done. Ignore. Oh. Yeah, Japanese pronunciation is so precise. They can really call us out on our sloppy pronunciation sometimes. Indeed. The one that spawned most of it was desu, do-ran. Restaurant, right? Restaurant. I still say restaurant, like restaurant. I still say restaurant, and I talked about this a lot, like how desk. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Like, this is des. For all intents and purposes, this is to be. I don't think I've met. It's been a while since I've met someone that says desk like I do. Like, I have a desk. I place my computer on a desk. But it's more, most people around me say des. It's a des. Like des. Des. I know the Japanese word for, but That's not the point. Yes. They do be doing the deep cuts with cutting out consonants at the end of words. I think Japanese was ahead of our time, if you know what I mean, by cutting out consonants at the end of words. I'm obviously being very dramatic and generalizing for the giggles. I'm not passing it off as fact or anything like that. Hopefully no one got triggered by what I just said there. Okay. The breakfast is from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
自販機はジムの隣です。
自販機はジムの隣です。ありがとうございます。
部屋の番号は351です。
部屋の番号は351です。Right. The room number is 351. Yes.
花さん、5月2日に旅行しませんか？
花さん、5月2日に旅行しませんか5月2日に旅行しませんか？いいですね。ネットでホテルを予約しましょう。Thanks, Geek-chan.
カフェは3階です。
までです。Right? までです。コーヒーは3階です。カフェは3階です。12月3日12月3日
12月
チェックインをお願いします。
チェックイン
をお願いします。
お願いします。
部屋の鍵。Oh, wait. No. I can't make a jab at Lotus, actually. That's too far off. 部屋の鍵はここです。部屋の鍵はここです。
部屋
の鍵はここです。You think you're weak? No, the link is too weak. I was gonna do like a Kiji. I was gonna Kiji you in the face, but Kiji hasn't come up enough. I was gonna say, it's a shame Kagi is not Kiji. It kind of sounds like Ki. I was gonna Kiji you. Like, take that, Lotus. It's Kiji. You got it? I can Kiji. I'll show you a Kiji. Wait, that actually kind of makes sense.
の鍵
鍵はここです。
はここです。
Yeah, let's do some kanji. Where are we gonna go? We went up here. We did the hito. Kai. Let's do this.
Yama.
Okay. Yamada.
Yamada.
Yama. 山口、本、中山、山田、山田、
山田、
山田。
山。
Ew. I don't want to talk about it.
山
田。
7分。中山、山口、山田。
休み。
木曜日。
木曜日。
木曜月日。
No one saw that.
休み
Okay.
木曜日
Okay.
木曜日休みます。900買います。話します。木曜日
木曜日。
休みます。休みます。
木曜日。4つ。2つ。500。休み。
休みます。
200休み。木曜日2つ4つ。
木曜日。
Get more with
休み。
木曜日。
木曜日日休み
休み
木曜日木曜日900 木曜日話します。買います。休みます。
木曜日。
休みます。休みます。
休み。2つ。4つ。500。木曜日。
休みます。
4つ。2つ。200。休み。木曜日。
木曜日。
卵。
卵。
Oh, Heaven wrote tamago
卵
in it's about what I imagined again.
卵。
卵。
Oh my gosh, my pen. Oh, maybe it's my pen that's doing that.
卵
卵。
卵
I think my tablet's putting out. Nanyobi.
何曜日火曜日
Okay. 金曜日。 何曜日、火曜日、土曜日、月曜日。
火曜日、
何曜日、
何曜日、
火曜日、
B. I mean, yo. Whoops. 金曜日、何曜日、日本、火曜日、日曜日、木曜日。
木曜、
Okay. Oops. Oh, I. Yep,
木
I
曜
missed the
日、
B.
木曜日、
木曜、
木曜日、
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 木曜、
木曜日、
木曜日、
魚、
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 Wait, what was that? Kanji. Oh, not free. The left side, the left kanji of free. Yeah, it's like a
魚、
more grittier
魚、
sakana. A sakana.
魚、
魚、
Okay. More grits.
魚、
Let there be more grits.
魚、
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 木曜日.
木、
Alright. Once again.
木曜日、
木曜日、
木曜、
木曜日、
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 木曜、
木曜日、
木曜日、
Introducing the
Yes, yes, yes. I think we hit all. We have I must.
会います。
I must.
会います。
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 Someone showed me another
会います。
会います。
word
会います。
or phrase that
会います。
had this kanji in it.
会いま
And I
す。
don't remember which one.
じ、
じ、
何
何時じ、6時、8時、じ、1時、何時 Oh, that. Yes. Yes, that one. Wait. Maybe not. Kaiki? No. Something else. Go again. Go again.
何
Oh, wait. Maybe it is. Because we had meetingu, right? Meetingu. That could be it, actually. Kaiki?
じ、
じ、
Yes. G. I hear ya. G.
何時、
1時、じ、2時、3時、 何時9月 Wait 9月うん月曜日
月曜9月
うん
9月9月9月9月月曜日
月曜日
月
9
9月
月
日曜日月曜日9分9000月曜日
月曜日
月曜日何ですか
何ですか
7000
7000
月曜日山口9月9月9月月曜日来月9000日9月月曜日月曜日4時4 12時月曜日9月
Yeah, what was this? 9月
9月
来月
来月
Okay. 来月 Oh います900 900 900 9000 9月
来月
9月
9月
来月
9月来月9時7月9000I think we're good. Let's do our final review for the day, and then I gotta prep for tomorrow. All right. Oh, for company. Oh, yeah. Company too. Yeah. Kaisha. Kaisha. Oh, Kai. Interesting. That's a different Kai. Were you the one that tell me that's a different Kai? When I was saying like, oh yeah, hey, Kai. But not to be confused with Kai. I don't know if you were the one that said that. Someone said that too. Yeah, the aimasu kanji. Au. Is au just Wait, Lotus. Is it that symbol and then u? How do you write it in the plain form? Is it yeah, it would have that and then u. Oh, that's interesting. What does the other one mean? The other one really does look like a house, though. It's getting closer and closer suspiciously to house. I mean, the kanji looks like a house. I don't mean it's the hiragana for a house or something like that. First is to meet. Second is to come together, according to Jisho. Okay. Oh, to come together. Oh, that's interesting. To come together. Oh. Ah. One's transitive and one's intransitive. One's transitive and one's intransitive. And it happens a lot, actually. When you go to meet someone, it's two people meeting together. But to come together is a passive event. Like if you happen to come together. Or maybe not. But the nuance is very felt. It's very felt. It's kind of like a not transitive and then intransitive. Yeah. But it didn't mean to add that part. Non-transitive / intransitive. That's something else. Oh, okay. To come together to meet. Interesting. They mean different things, but I don't know if it's the same in Japanese. I mean, it's not transitive or not intransitive, but the nuances remind me of the nuances between transitive and non-intransitive, but not transitive and wait, not transitive says intransitive. Oh, you're so the negatives. Okay, but when you meet to meet is not the same as coming together. Yeah, well, I know. I'm using you figuratively, like as an object. I'm using like, so I like you, it's so like you use it to say that some food meets your palate. Which one? Which one do you use to meet your palate? So in that case you use oh, that's interesting. So you use the other one, the come together one, for meets your palate. Whoa. I mean, they could just well, they don't have to make sense off the thing. I'm talking about like the contrast between to meet and to come together. Either of them could have been used to meet your palate. It would be an alternative use, if you know what I mean. Or you know what I mean, like. But if if one of the other meanings, the come together one, would be more or less likely to have the nuance of meeting someone's palate versus. So you're saying the second one is more like fulfilling a requirement or like meeting, satisfying. Wait, how do you say? Is that not also satisfying? We're getting too deep into this. Maybe when that's introduced in the future. What does I must? What does the left I must do? Are there any alternative meanings for the left one? The one that I learned, or is it literally people meeting? And it's restricted to people meeting. This isn't the first time, by the way. So hajime versus hajima. They be pretty similar. Honestly, probably need a native speaker. Yeah. So hajimarimasu is the thing that they introduced, which is intransitive. Yeah. Hajime, no. Hajime, no. Hajimarimasu. One of them is transitive and one of them is intransitive, I think. Or hajime versus hajima. And then there's another one that they only introduced one of them, and it's to open. They gave me the intransitive one. They're using the intransitive one and not the transitive one. And their difference is it's quite subtle, but usually it's not the same. It's not the same as your example, obviously. They're actually different. They're different words. But I really like those kind of things. Like they're really awfully specific, as opposed to like if you said the restaurant opened at 10 o'clock, right? The restaurant opened at 10 o'clock. You would use the intransitive one. If the owner opens the restaurant at 10 o'clock, then you would use the transitive one. Right. And when I was looking it up, I'm like, oh, okay, so Jisho kind of slides both of them in. I think the one that I got was yeah, the intransitive one was aku. Aku was the time. And then akeru is the transitive one, the one where someone has to act, create the something or some object or anything. Something has to create the result. Yeah. Wait, it's hiraku? You used a potential form of aku? I'm gonna slap you, Lotus. I'm gonna send you my virtual digital disappointment and you just suddenly confusing me. You're doing this on purpose now. Wait, it's no, now I'm confused. It's hiraku? Hiraku versus aku? I got akeru. But then what does akeru do? Wait, you're telling me there's another one? Oh no. We're straying off the path now. Oh boy, it's off the rails now. Oh, hiraku. Wow, well, hiraku can be both intransitive and transitive. Yeah, oh heckin', oh my gosh. Hiraku is holy. I was when I was using the verb conjugator, it was giving me akeru and aku, because they're very close, right? Akeru and aku are very close, but hiraku, wow, hiraku is massive. Holy. Yeah, specifically I'm talking more about the restaurant thing. The aku was introduced by like a place opening up, like opening their doors, as in like, so to me specifically, that's why I found those two, as opposed to like even more. It looks like hiraku is a lot like of things, you know, like crazy. All right, the more you know, the more you have to look forward to, right? I honestly think all this talking doesn't even remotely scare me from Japanese. Like, I honestly, like, here's my take. This is not a shade or anything. I think it's more about the psychological perception of things. When we get so used to our native language, right? Sometimes I feel it's difficult to continue appreciating how complicated your native language is. If you know what I mean. It has that little human condition where the things become less intricate. But when you learn another language, over time, it becomes less and less daunting because you, in my opinion, at least for myself personally, it has revealed I have equally, if not potentially debatably, just as much difficult nuances in my native language versus the target language. So humbly so, the more complicated Japanese becomes doesn't really impact my dauntingness of its intricacies or my concern, because I have often always felt that I needed to improve my English, because the depths of the English, the appreciation of the English language runs just as deep as my appreciation for Japanese language, even though I'm completely ignorant to a lot of Japanese things. The act of learning makes me feel less ignorant. When I stop learning English, which I do use a lot in my life, it makes me even more insecure. So I'm motivated to try to not be complacent. And because I want to say this is a lot of times when people say, oh, why can't this be as easy as this? Well, after the fact is, relatively speaking, subjectively easier. So I don't think it will be very honest to yourself or a very reasonable. It's cognitive dissonance. I'm going to use the phrase cognitive dissonance. I don't think it's unlikely. Oh, that's double negative. I think it's very likely that those who believe that learning a native language can be incredibly daunting because they are looking at the mountains of nuances, constantly juggling more nuances, like pitch accent. Just juggle more and more pitch accent, why don't you, while you're learning and stuff, can even compare in the moment to all the things you've already autonomously appreciate about your native language. And not to spill any spoilers, in English, because of all the nuances we talk about, Lotus, in Japanese, it only reminds me of what a Japanese person has to learn when they're learning English, right? Like, we're talking about open. So how do you differentiate? Like, now you ask yourself, how do you differentiate when you say the store opens at 10? Like, now think about the role reversal. Like, explain to a Japanese person what it means in English to say the store opens at 10. Like, what are you expressing there? How do you communicate to a Japanese person what you have expressed by saying the door opens at 10? Because I can tell you, I probably have a different interpretation than several other people when I say the store opens at 10. Somebody opened the store at 10, even though you said the store opened at 10, if you know what I mean, right? Because there's oftentimes it's inferred that it's transitive. A lot of times I know, like, you might be thinking like, oh yeah, but in the actual grammar and stuff, it's like it's intransitive. It's like, well, someone opened the store. That kind of thing. And you have to explain that kind of thing. Like, is it not? Is it figurative? Did it just magically open? Like, it always opens at 10 even though no one's there? Is that what you're saying? So to me, I think that's pretty cool. I want to dispel the feeling that I don't relate a lot. I think a lot of the frustration about constantly learning a language is like, oh yeah, but there's more things, and then you get urgent. You get very urgent. Like people keep saying like, oh yeah, but that's not this. It's this. That's right. This is right. This is wrong. Like, oh, it's not this. It's not that. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Awesome. Maybe I'll get in the future. Maybe I won't. I have no idea. However, whenever you're in a position of knowledge and comprehension, you can no longer assimilate, or like you can no longer firsthand resonate with someone who doesn't have that experience yet. So when you go around constantly adding more and more things to the plate, I get it. I get that most people are like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm just going to quit Japanese now. It's too much things to juggle. And for me, I kind of run towards it. I like these. But at the same time, it's not like knowing them is going to make time pass faster and make you more accurate. We already talked about the whole output versus input thing, right? If you're constantly inputting more, like I actually disagree with that. Where like, yeah, you can be very, very inclined to take in as much information as you can. Does that mean you'll execute on it? I don't know. To me, these things take time. And I'll do them with a smile, right? Freaking what is it? Hiraku? Oh my gosh, I don't even know how you use hiraku now. Like when do you use hiraku? Do you know hiraku, Lotus? Have you used hiraku?
Donna.
Donna. Okay. Donna. Donna hoteru. Hoteru. O sagashimashou. Sagashimashou ka?
Sagashimashou.
Sagashimashou.
Ka.
I can't wait to watch whatever you're referring to on the One Piece thing. And then now I'm gonna hold this against you for the rest of your life. Or at least for the rest of however we know. Sagashimashou. It's gonna be hard to forget Sagashimasu now that you've mentioned the One Piece thing. It's like encoded into my brain now. Donna hoteru o Donna hoteru o shikashimashou ka. Now help me out in pronouncing it in a way that I could repetitiously say it accurate, like say it consistently as opposed to caring about its accuracy. Sagashimashou. Sagashimashou.
Sagashimashou.
Sagashimashou.
Sagashimashou.
Donna hoteru o sagashimashou ka? Watashi no heya wa 3階です。
部屋？
私の部屋は3階です。3階です。クレジットカードとパスポートをありますか？ Let me try that again.
クレジットカード
とクレジットカードとパスポートをありますか？
パスポート
をパスポートはありますか？
ありますか？
クレジットカードとパスポートはありますか？ チェックインはチェックインは12時20分です。
12時。
これは私の部屋の鍵です。これは私の部屋の鍵です。
あそこに素敵なホテルがあります。あのホテルに泊まりませんか？あそこに素敵なホテルがあります。あのホテルに泊まりませんか？あそこに素敵なホテルがあります。あのホテルに泊まりませんか？あそこに素敵なホテルがあります。あのホテルに泊まりませんか？
Oh, if you want to stay, yeah, atorimasenka. That's new. Atorimasenka. このトーストは、このトーストは美味しいですね。
ルームサービスをお願いします。牛丼を一つとバニラのアイスクリームを一つください。
That's awesome. I order that too. Ordering some food. That sounds delightful. 4回 what? 4回で OK. 4回で会いましょう。
このホテルのスパは無料です。でもタオルは無料じゃないです。タオルは2000円です。高いです。
There are, what is expensive? It's the towels at the spa.
このホテルのスパは無料です。でもタオルは無料じゃないです。タオルは2000円です。高いです。
Dang. Did they just say Nisen yen des? Holy, that's expensive. That is so expensive. They said that they went to the spa, but towels aren't free at the spa. And they said the towels are 2,000 yen. Holy, that's... Imagine paying 2,000 yen. Did I mishear that? Hold up.
このホテルのスパは無料です。でもタオルは無料じゃないです。タオルは2000円です。高いです。
So expensive. Yeah, that's some expensive towels.
すみません、スパはどこですか？
すみません。What do you mean? Don't you have super? Can't you just listen to all these prompts? Can you not just go to practice and listen to all these prompts, Lotus? Or is it like different? Can you not get those prompts? I figure you get like access to all the prompts. I think these prompts are great. I love listening to them. Some of them are really funny. I don't like the short ones. The short ones are definitely not great, but they're getting longer, which is nice. I like listening to it over and over again. すみません。スパはどこですか？ It's in front of the lobby, behind the gym, around the corner, on the 3rd floor. Yes. That's my hat. That's what I like to say in the future without having to think about it, right? Spa wa poru, puru. Whoops. Spa wa puru. Puru. Yeah, spa wa poru no mae desu. It's the spa is in front of the pool.
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。後ろです。
パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。
後ろです。パンはコーヒーメーカーの後ろです。The bread is behind the coffee maker.
朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。
Who puts bread behind the coffee maker? Sorry, I was totally distracted by what I just said there.
朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。
朝ごはんは7時から10時までです。までです。Okay. ピアノも弾きます。ピアノも弾きます。Thank and go along. ありがとうございます。
7月2日に旅行しませんか
？7月2日 right 7月2日に旅行7月2日に旅行しませんか？ Would you like to travel on July 2nd? Would you like to travel?
チェックアウトをお願いします。
チェックアウトをお願いします。Okay. Check out, please. We did it. We did it. Okay. Real talk though. We have some time. I'm going to look for something. Okay, it's official. I can confirm that yesterday Cozy said something about stories. I don't think stories are available without super, or it. Oh no, here it is. Holy! You have to get all the way down here? I won't even get to stories for another like 90 days. Excuse me? I'm so upset right now. I'm just kidding. Slow and steady. Okay. So you have to get to section 3, unit 21? Oh, I'm about to get cool grammar. Okay, that's fine. That'll make it up. That'll make up for it. I'm okay with that. Oh, past. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let me take a teaser first. Okay, past tense verbs. Sure, past tense verbs. Okay, express. Wait. Oh man. Okay, use negative adjectives. Oh, dude. Okay. Arrange what you. All right. Past tense makes plans to. Use past tense negative verbs. Oh man. Oh, that's so juicy. I feel like I finally left a tutorial, in my opinion. Use past tense adjectives? Oh, man. Okay, alright. The most I can get through between each review period is between 7 and 9 units. That's the closest I can get between every review. So maybe I should extend the length now. Oh, that's so cool. I am so excited. I do need to like head off because I'm going to do some passive review, and that kind of defeats the purpose of this, right? I got to do some passive review so that I can be ready for tomorrow and try my best. Last time, just as a comparison, last time I did spend because of the 3-day super, right? 3-day super that landed on day 50. I spent an additional 3 days to go back and do like Legends upkeep, and that provided a really solid review, and I could confirm that pretty much everything was still intact, right? Over 90. So then I did the review after, and that was fairly okay. I think I'm still okay at the end of section 2, largely because they don't have, there's no gigantic leaps in anything that will be confusing. The problem now is I didn't review at all, not even like anything. So we'll see. My guess is I'm gonna say it's probably lower. If I had to be conservative, I'm feeling more like 85% right now. I can definitely see gaps, or I can, by gaps I mean I know I know I learned it or I was exposed to it, but I can't recall it. And there is a chance that's going to happen. And also the difference is during the 50-day review, I made more mistakes. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. If you make more mistakes, you remember less. Actually, when you make mistakes, you practice more in Duolingo. And how that does is it forces review, right? The thing is, even if you recall it and you happen to keep successfully, that's what I mean by, in my opinion, Duolingo actually moves too fast. Where Duolingo doesn't integrate things as regularly. However, they do try. Every like 3 staggered rotations. So what I mean is, if you learn something at unit 1, for example, you might be able to encounter the same vocabulary or something related to it after the next, at like a bi unit, maybe even a 2 units, and then 2 units down you might see the recurrence of a unit. But that's not enough, because it'll still go around 85%. Like your percentage is dropping. It doesn't naturally review all of the things. So without use, some of them are going to be falling apart. So I am going to do some reviewing a little bit before tomorrow's review to keep upkeep a lot of things. It is going to be tough tomorrow, and I think I'm going to try to change up the way I format it, maybe create some more meaningful thing out of the categorization. Last time at day 50, the difference between day 50 and 25 is I started categorization, right? Categorization. Now, and 25 was random. It's as much as I can recall with no organization, right? There's no organization. But now with 50, we ballooned up to like 700. So I had to use categorization. For this one, my plan is probably, since we're at 1,000 plus now, we're probably gonna do scenes. Doing scenes, like painting scenes. So the categorization is gonna be subdivided into different scenes, and we'll see how that works out. It's a lot more specific, so that I don't have to feel like I need to cover all 1,000 plus words. That's absurd, and it's gonna only get bigger. So we're gonna think about very specific scenes, and then go with that, and then make it non-comprehensive, right? This is a scene that I feel I can comfortably talk about. Here are all the words that I can use to cover the scene. If I'm in this situation, I can cover all the words, and then go about it that way, as opposed to constantly doing the like robotic mechanical thing. So we're gonna try to organically, quote unquote, organically come up with organized scenes, and that would be probably my approach to make it so that I'm not like sitting there for 10 hours trying to weave through my mind on how to connect back to all the words. And I want to squeeze in one lesson. This lesson. Maybe not. It's going to be a long time. This one took me, what, 3 hours? And this one took me 8 hours to cover my thoughts and stuff. So we have to keep it. I don't want this end up becoming like 16 hours. That's absurd. So it will not be manageable. So I will have to think about how I'm going to compromise all that, because I still want to touch upon my experiences. So like psychology stuff. I want to talk about psychology stuff, like how my motivation is going, other topics like things that I've encountered, other things that I've encountered. Maybe because for me this is the most important thing. The experience, psychology, motivation, encounter. The goal is not to master Japanese. Is to make Japanese meaningful. There's a difference between knowing 100% pitch accent and sounding like a native versus being happy that Japanese breathes more value to your life. There's a very gigantic dissonance between these two things. A lot of times this type of thing is projected by other people, and often is a source of which I'm going to touch upon. That's one of the topics that I'm going to talk about tomorrow. It's a source of ambivalence most of the time, and it can depreciate and overshadow what it is that makes you wanted to start learning Japanese in the first place. People, in my opinion, stop doing something because of projected values of other people. When you become merely exposed constantly about what breathes value to what you're doing, you stop listening to yourself, and you tend to lose that perspective a lot of times. And when you lose, in my opinion, when you lose perspective of why you started in the first place, you're not reminding yourself of the things that bring you joy. For me, that could mean the same as, oh yeah, just wait it out. Just wait it out. Input, input, input. Wait it out. Wait it out. You have to make sure you're right before you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, participate in it, right? When you lose this, if your goals become so big and so like immeasurably like insurmountable, you stop participating in the enjoyment of doing the thing, right? Things like, oh, all right, I have to learn 15 words today. Okay, let's just get it out of the way. You know, at first it was like, ah, yes, I get to learn 15 words because I know 0 words right now. It's like, ah, this is so great. Like, I practically tripled, like, infinity my Japanese vocab. And then once you get to the point of where I am, in my opinion, this is where it starts settling in, and you have to dig in a different perspective. When you start accumulating in this way, your progress will relatively slow down, right? It will relatively slow down. Your honeymoon period is over, right? But you have to still be somehow adjusting to that. Otherwise, you're not going to develop a lifelong relationship with these things. Like a healthy relationship with playing video games in moderation, keeping fitness, eating, finding your life colorful and happy, right? Sometimes, you know what I've done? Here's one thing so that I don't spoil too much for tomorrow, is that if you are commuting, if you're someone that commutes to work or do something, you're commuting to work, right? And if I asked you, if a stranger like me asks you, oh, can you describe something interesting? I do this all the time as an exercise. Can you describe something interesting that happened during your commute? Right? It often comes out when someone says, oh yeah, I have to commute to work. You know, it takes me like 40 minutes to an hour to commute to work. And I'm thinking myself like 124, actually 112 of your day is commuting. And the person would say, oh, it's nothing special. I have to do it because I have to do that to go to work. Why? Why does it only have to be commute? And that's what I mean by learning languages. When you're doing language, like for example, people stop learning English. I'm gonna be real with you. Like the vast majority of people who use their English online, they stop learning English. They stop being interested in expanding their English. They stop practicing communication. If you can type it, why bother talking anymore, right? And then when they go to talk, that's when the stuff hits the fan, where it becomes very obvious. So a lot of times my thought is, if you can get someone to rediscover interest in the things they spend so much time doing, you don't have to tell someone how to enjoy their life. They will naturally enjoy their life themselves far more, right? Like, hey, have someone invest in saying, oh, what did you learn today? It's like, oh, I just drilled Anki. Okay, well, is there a word in that Anki you can teach me that you absolutely love? And then over time, I would say like, I will ask a couple more times, and at some point it will become autonomic to them. They would be like, oh, you know what? Maku is gonna ask me today, like, what word I'm gonna like. You know what? Let's go find it. Let's find an additional purpose for something that you already have to do. And that's where I'm getting at right now, going into the fourth wall. Oh, I don't know what you call it, the third wall of Duolingo. How do you keep yourself from telling yourself, I know all this stuff and I need to stop paying attention to it less and less? Because in my opinion, when something is trying to give you information, it is up to the person to receive and integrate that information. What is Duolingo not doing very well right now is probably dynamically, constantly changing it up periodically, right? It's not going, to me, it's great. I think it's too slow for a lot of people. I'm still excited. My excitement doesn't wane by the time I get to section 3. I think if I had to be super conservative, it's a great improvement on the many different ways they have engaged people. You're going to need a lot more than that to keep people engaged. And I get it. It's the whole thing where you could make the counter argument, well, you can teach people to be more patient and be more rigorous and committed. It's like, yeah, true. I understand that. But times have changed. Now people are incredibly dynamic, right? They take in lots of stimuli every day. At least make that stimuli productive to the welfare of their life and their health. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. How am I juggling the daunting task of someone telling me that there's like 100 things that I need to work on? Well, I will work on them one word at a time. So now I know that taberu is low, high, low. Taberu as opposed to taberu. But the reason why I thought it was taberu is I already described that I have a predilection for atamadaka. And also I chose to take a risk because this doesn't come up. It only comes up once in one unit in section 2, and I had to remind myself that I even learned this word. But when I see this object, I know more than not knowing it at all. And now I know because Jiao is a very heavy pitch accent person, right? It's low, low, high, low. And so taberu, it's taberu, right? Or taberu, instead of taberu. So one word at a time, maybe 2 words, maybe 3 words. I'm not going to stop doing output because I like Japanese. And I like myself a lot. Like, what I mean is, I like to encourage myself a lot. If you spend more time on input, I honestly think a lot of times without output, you can't have tangible observation of your progress. Duolingo has done an abstraction of a way to give you feedback that there's tangible output, which means that this output is the most criticized. It is the most criticized. I would argue conservatively, this function of output is legitimately the most divisive, arguably the most divisive part of gamification, which is to give you an output to continuously motivate and encourage you. And that, to me, you cannot live that as a human being that is already competent. So once you learn Japanese, output becomes emotionally detached because you no longer struggle with needing to visualize and feel your output as you're gaining input. That's one of the, in my opinion, the one thing that no matter how great of a human being, unless you're one of the special human beings that have eidetic emotional memory, there is some beings out there. There's actually a content creator that I've someone shared with me, a content creator who has I don't know what it's called, but it's a situation where they don't remember like specific, it's not like specific detail oriented things. They relive emotions. So when they go through and they get triggered by like scenes and stuff, their emotions are heavily encoded. So their emotions don't change as much dynamically, right? So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting phenomenon, but that's super rare. It's actually less than 1% of the world population. So most of the time, to me, this is the only time I will be able to convey these topics, and the rest is history. So in another 300 days, if I'm still doing this, right? I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if I look back on this day, I can never feel like this ever again. As in, I'm going to use myself as a recording to describe best to myself in the future that, hey, you're going to end up, by human condition, gonna be naturally less attached. So the more Japanese I learn, the less and less I will be able to resonate and be compassionate to someone who's starting again. And that's kind of one of the things that sometimes the best advice is also the worst advice. I'll let people stoop on that, and I'll kind of expound upon it in the future. Like if you go to an expert who's like 6 or 7 years and you're asking them for learning advice, they might be the best advice, but also at the same time the worst advice, as they are no longer emotionally intelligent to your position, but they are sure as heck will be able to provide all the input you need. Not the psychological benefit of the emotional construct. I reckon there are some people out there who are much, maybe there are some exceptional people who can keep their emotional memory intact. But generally speaking, I don't think those people would be people who make content freely available or like be doing something like this in this context. So I like to genuinely remind myself that the more I learn about something, the less and less I can relate to someone who doesn't know it. And oftentimes I think to myself, there are things that I feel like I want to unlearn sometimes for the sake of my emotional benefit. But it's kind of like trying to overcome a terrible experience and you just don't want to make it into a positive experience. Then you start struggling with trying to forget the negative experience. So for those who are very good with their memory, that's often semantic memory. The harshest things that happen tends to be emotional, not the most rewarding things that you're consistent in. So if you're consistently successful, you will naturally, in my opinion, as a human being, find them less and less significant and much more progressively more trivial. Kind of like that person that says, "Oh, you studied Japanese for 7 days, right? For 7 days. Look at you. That's cute." Meanwhile, coming from someone who has 5 years experience, that's usually normal. Like, well, I'm not saying like you have to expect that. It's kind of human condition to expect that, because time dilates. Time really changes things. Like for now, I'm at 75, but vividly due to a quote unquote negative challenge, I can sort of still feel that triviality that someone has aggressively proposed as some form of kindness or some sort of caring things, like, "Oh, don't worry, that's no big deal. Just wait until you spend 3 years studying." Like, well, that's what I mean. That's typically what I mean by that's the human condition. It's so tough to bridge this. And I don't know if, there's a clever way to do so. I constantly remind myself, because I can sound like a cold-hearted person if I delve in a position where I know a lot, right? I think I know a lot about something. It can become very emotionally unintelligible. As in, if a new person says, dude, why do you have to be such an a-hole about what I'm learning? Like, it takes time. That's emotionally unintelligible. The person that is is very well experienced and educated, they won't think it's insensitive. They won't think it's condescending. You know, it's very hard to channel that because they understand the hard work and the commitment that's required to create that skill. So they're being compassionate in the way that they are able to be as a human being. However, that will naturally become emotionally unintelligible to someone who is starting the journey. And one thing that can be very humbling is seeing yourself actualizing. This video that I'm doing right now is a message to myself, in my opinion. And I did this at day 25. I did this at day 53. It's a message to myself to output this lack of emotional awareness that I will eventually feel in the future. I've done this many times. So, you know, I'm a skill collector, right? I'm not a skill master. I don't master a lot of skills. Like, I'm not a master of any, really. Not a master. So I skill collect most of the time. So I'm a proficiency skill collector. So I've gone through this pattern of relating to beginners or relating to new experiences, and then suddenly see my shift, and then I leave because I like to stay a great teacher. I want to stay in a motivational point of view. So most of the time, once I get close to, let's see, like 80-20, right, I stop. Once I cross like a 80th percentile or something, I kind of usually stop. And it goes into the background. And I start all over again. I constantly start all over again. Why is that any useful? Is that skill useful to anyone? It is. The one that I find, in my opinion, that is very useful in understanding the skill of constantly starting over, reaching proficiency, is for anyone who gets stuck emotionally. So how do you get over changing careers, right? That might not be a very serious one, like changing careers. Death, like grief, right? It's an end. So how do you start again? Breakups. So these things are the things that I think, for my personal interest of constantly starting over and reaching proficiency, I have a lot of anecdotal experience that I can help demonstrate and navigate. So no, I'm probably only going to be like, modestly, I would say N3 is pretty modest. And guess where Duolingo goes up to? Most people would say, yeah, shy of N3. And then where am I going to go next? I'm going to Mandarin. And then Spanish. My life, if this is going to be a thing, I'm probably going to be that dilettante that doesn't advertise themselves as experts, but you're gonna see me smile and have fun and integrate all my N3s across the board to engage in the idea that you can always start over and you can always start new. It's never too late. You know, the cliche, it's never too late. That's my life. Where there's an end, there's a new beginning. If it never ends, you can still make new beginnings. The heck with the idiom, right? You don't need to end something to start something. You can choose when to start new things and when to give them a break, right? You take breaks. You don't end things and have to end things and then start new things. At least that's in my opinion. if it doesn't work for you and you're like one of those like completionist, perfectionist things, I can honestly tell you that whole like completionist, perfectionist lifestyle killed me. Like it was literally killing me physically, or it was literally or indirectly killing my health and my sustainability and my mental health. So if you ever feel like you're on a downward spiral because you're focused on completion, accuracy, and things, then maybe I can offer some word of wisdom by demonstration. Join me in a journey of starting something new or on a whim, and perhaps that could be the inspiration for letting go or changing things. Oftentimes that lifestyle is not for everyone, but if it is for you, you know who you are, and you're probably the superstar of everyone's lives, and keep on at it. I'm proposing that is not my lifestyle. So I have become exponentially happier when I've thrown away the consistent being able to be open to ideas, but not let those ideas project my standards of self, right? If someone says you have to be a native speaker in order to have conquered or be respected in the Japanese learning language, then you can keep your medal. That's what I would have to say to that. It's not going to stop me from trying, but you can keep your medal and stamp of approval. I will still be smiling and having fun with Japanese. The question is, are you having fun keeping your standards of Japanese and other language learning? If it's yes, I'm happy for you. If it's no, perhaps we can talk about how to lower those standards to make yourself happier, because I certainly am happy. I've learned to appreciate the simple things in life, along with things that I care about in great detail. I used to live a life where I specifically cared about all the intricacies of accuracy, consistency, because science requires that. And that controlling most of your life, I don't think humans are built that way. Perhaps AI, maybe go train a clone of yourself, a deep fake of yourself. Perhaps that one would be sustainable. There's a little digression at the end. It's going to be tomorrow's main topic, by the way. So you're probably going to hear a lot of this again, but maybe with a little bit more detail and oriented towards Duolingo or Japanese, something like that. All right, folks. With that said, thanks for listening. Keep up the good work. I would love to hear something, like if you go to your table, right? If you go to your table one day and I ask yourself, like if I ask you to ask yourself, break down what you do every single day. Start at the top of the list. The thing that you do that takes up most of your time in a day, what can you do to make it more lively? Nikiyaka desu. Sorry. More lively in those situations. When I had to work, I had to commute 2 hours to there and back. I read books. I actually learned an entire skill on the bus. Ask yourself where you can make those long hours more meaningful. And I want to hear about it, because if there's anyone that can convince you that there is someone in the world that cares about your well-being, well, I would certainly love to hear a story about how you made your commute and you decided to learn how to whistle while you're commuting. I actually learned how to whistle during a bus commute. I'm for real, like during the walk to the bus stop and then back, I actually every single day I whistled a little. That's how I did it at the bus stop at school. Like that's how I like high school, and so I learned to whistle on the walk to the bus stop and along back. over and over again, and you piled it up over a couple years, and that's how I learned how to whistle. So, just a thought. Your life is, everyone's life. People deserve to be happy, in my opinion. That's one of the liberties, right? All right. Until next time, as always, stay safe, stay happy, or try to stay happy, both in mind and body. And as always, until next time, mata ashita. じゃあね。